Hi friends! Hey, how are you all doing today? Happy Tuesday. Happy 2024. Here we are in the new year. So Tuesday is January 2nd, so it's the second day of the new year, at least currently where I'm at. So hopefully your new year is off to a good start. Hopefully, however you saw last year out and the new year in was great and perfect for you. Whatever that is that you like to do. I don't know if I've said this before or not, but this is the first holiday season in a really, really long time that I've had all of the major holidays off of work where I wasn't either on call or had to actually work. So before this year, so I've had Thanksgiving off, I had Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day off of work. I don't say this to brag to other people who had to work because I totally know what it's like to have to work those holidays or be on call. Since I became a CNA, I've worked lots and lots of holidays, and it wasn't a big deal until I had kids. Then working Christmas morning wasn't so fun anymore. But yeah, so I've really enjoyed this holiday season and just have this huge extreme gratitude for the fact that I was able to spend more time with my family, with my husband and my two kids this season. So lots and lots of gratitude for that this holiday season. So hopefully you have things to be thankful for as well. And here we are, moving on, our first intention of 2024. So I choose forward motion. I choose forward motion. Does that not sound like a nice way to start off the new year? I choose forward motion. Intentions are always released on Sundays. I like to give you a little time to work with it, play with it yourself, toss it around, and just kind of see what comes up. Because you come here Tuesdays and I give you my thoughts and then we meditate together and then you're kind of back to your own thoughts during the meditation. But I think it's good that you give yourself your own input before you hear what I have to say, before I give my 2 cents, and just see what your own gut instinct brings up, your own intuition, your first thoughts. Those are the things to kind of latch onto. So that's why I posted out there a little bit early, so that way you can have a little bit of time to sit with it yourself before we meet here together. So intention comes out on Sunday, we meet here on Tuesday, so here we are. This week we only have one exact aspect, and it already happened this week. So Venus squaring Saturn Sunday into Monday, at least from my standpoint of where I'm at. And that's the only exact aspect that we have. It's already starting to separate. Venus is moving pretty quickly right now, so couple day transit, but I think it's a neat way to start out the ending the year and moving into the new year with that aspect that we have. And I also think that the blank slate that we have afterwards is also really, really neat. So Venus squaring Saturn. So where at this time, as we're moving into a new calendar year, also I recognize that although this is the standard calendar year for the calendar that we use, I realize that there's lots of different people that use different points of the year as their starting point. Personally, I like the winter solstice. I know a lot of people like the spring equinox as well. I've heard of Samhain, Halloween being the beginning of the year in some traditions. We talked about this before with the winter solstice, but personally I like that seeding point as the beginning of the year, which also correlates pretty closely to the new year of the standard calendar that we follow. So little side note there that I realize not everybody uses this as their own new year. Also, we all have our own new year with our birthday, right? So that's just a little side note, little cliff note. But Venus squaring Saturn. So where are you being called? Where do you feel this pull to bring Venusian structures or to bring some sort of stabilization to the Venusian things in your life? So the things that you want, the things that you desire, the things that make you feel good, the pleasure and the desire and the balance and the harmony within your own life. Where do you feel called to bring some sort of stabilization to that? This transit here and that statement seems like it correlates a lot with like New Year's resolutions to me, right? Where do you desire to bring some sort of stabilization or some sort of formality or some sort of maybe like a little structure or a little bit more rigidity, or where do you want to hold yourself accountable a little bit? So with that aspect coming in through the new year and then not having anything else after that, it's like, so squares of the nature of Mars, right? So I talk a lot about them being, about squares being scratchy aspects that make us work, make us squirm a little bit, make us uncomfortable, so that way we want to move, so that way we take that like Mars type action. So where do you feel the need to move? Where do you feel the need to move in order to bring some sort of Venusian flair or flavor into some corner of your life? Very New Year's like. And then that's the only exact aspect. That does not mean that there's not motion going on and things happening, because that's not the case, but that's the only exact aspect. And the planets, the aspects of the planets, they bring their energies to us and they work on us in different ways, right? So, we talk about like the positive side of planets and their interactions. We talk about the shadow sides of planets and their interactions. So it's that the planets are kind of like guiding us and kind of like motioning us and not really causing, but more of like guiding and, distributing these different qualities around from them. So when you have an aspect or you have a planetary interaction going on, then that guidance or that flair is kind of put into it. When the planets are not necessarily an aspect to each other and they're not necessarily talking to each other, it's not that they aren't kind of guiding us or giving us their flair, because they still are from the position that they are in, but it's not two planets working together and communicating in a certain way. They're kind of all doing their own thing in the place that they are, and not like having a direct conversation with each other. Let's put it that way. So it just kind of leaves like this open door with coming into this new year here. So you have the Venus-Saturn square, and you have this call to kind of move a little bit, and then you have this openness, and you have this, okay, it's like, all right, here's the push, here's the part that makes you squirm, that makes you want to move. Now, what are you going to do with it? That type of thing. I find that to be really, really neat right here at the first of the year. And like I mentioned, we only have the one aspect, but that does not mean that there's nothing else going on in the sky right now. So we started out this beginning of the year with Jupiter moving direct. So Jupiter has been in a retrograde motion since early September and is now moving in a forward motion. So within the sign of Taurus, specifically within your own chart, but where has there been kind of over the last several months, where has there been this little bit of this pullback of Jupiterian type subjects? So where has there been this little bit of maybe like a pullback of abundances and resources and things that kind of come easy? Has there been something that feels like it was going really, really well, and then it seemed like it kind of came to a halt a little bit, maybe around September, or kind of slowed a little bit? Where were you perhaps given a topic that you had to kind of come up with more information about, or you had to look at it a different way? Jupiter brings knowledge and wisdom and information to us in a like mature knowledge type way coming to us. Not so much information like things that can help you right now. That's more Mercury or Uranus, but that like wise abundance of information and knowledge. So where did you feel that there were lessons that you were maybe moving forward with something and then you had to kind of pull back and see it from a different view, or maybe there was a lesson that had to be learned there of some kind or something like that? Maybe Jupiter also rules over things like law and order and this like sequential systems of different things. So is there anywhere where like there might be some sort of system within your life that was flowing well, and then it seemed like all of a sudden it took a little bit more work. Those things might start to move back into forward motion here with Jupiter moving forward. So now Jupiter is, so it's stationed direct at 5 degrees of Taurus. We'll start to move forward, move right through the middle degrees of Taurus, and then in April, that conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus that everybody is talking about is going to be coming our way after the eclipse. So Jupiter, we start off the beginning of the year with Jupiter direct, and then we start off the beginning of the year with Mercury stationing for direct. Mercury is now in direct motion, so no more Mercury retrograde. So I think that's also very significant and playing into our intention here this week too, of Jupiter. Sorry, my screen went away for just a second there. Both of these planets like now moving in a forward motion here. Jupiter and Mercury moving forward out of the retrograde motion and moving forward here. So I choose forward motion, just like these planets. Now, I know these planets don't like consciously choose when they're going to move, when they're going to move retrograde, when they're going to move forward. It's all based on the aspects and how far away they get from the planets, and it's our line of sight. They don't actually move backwards anyways. But when a planet starts moving, so planets moving forward is the typical motion, right? That's moving with the grain. Retrograde motion comes, they start to move backwards, they start to move against the grain a little bit. So then once they go forward again, they're flowing with the grain. They're flowing with the tide, with the flow, right? So in these areas where maybe we've been pulled back a little bit or kind of like halted or delayed or stalled a little bit, those motions are going to be moving forward here. So one aspect and then a blank slate. 2 planets moving forward. A couple sign changes too. So just because there's not aspects doesn't mean there's not things going on. Mars is moving into Capricorn. Mars is at 0 degrees. Mars is at 29 degrees of Sagittarius right now. So Wednesday into Thursday, Mars enters Capricorn. So that's a forward motion, that's a movement, that's a switch from one sign to the next, progression through the zodiac, right? From Sagittarius to Capricorn. And, you know, Mars in the sign of Capricorn is not a bad place for Mars to be. In fact, Mars is said to be exalted in the sign of Capricorn. It's a secondary form of rulership, basically. And basically, Mars being exalted in Capricorn is, you can think of it as like Capricorn being a place that's kind of Mars-like. Capricorn is a sign that likes work that pays off. It's willing to put in the work that needs to be done for forward motion, for progress, or for keeping the status quo or doing what has to be done. Mars is work itself. So that is how Mars and Capricorn, in my mind, go hand in hand, because they both are willing to do the work that needs to be done. They both can be workaholics in certain degrees, but Mars is moving on from this fire sign of Sagittarius into this earthly sign of Capricorn. So from this like imaginative and creative sign to a more solid and solidifying sign. You see how that kind of flows too there. You have Sagittarius, you have the philosopher, you have the wisdom seeker, you have the one that is reaching for the big dreams, and then the next sign you have is Capricorn. It's like, okay, these big dreams that you have, Sag, what are we going to do with them? We need to get to work, we need to roll up our sleeves, and we need to take that Mars action from all of that dreaming that we've had going on here. So sign change of Mars into the sign of Capricorn this week, and Venus moved into Sagittarius over the weekend too. So I think Venus is sitting at a 4 or 5 degrees Sag right now. So 2 sign changes for Venus and Mars. The planet of war and the planet of love, right? Two different aspects of our life that are very much, they're personal planets. It's personal to us, and it relates very closely to our being and to our body and to our emotions too. And then while we're on the topic of sign changes, the moon is sitting at 0 degrees of Libra right now. So Again, these sign changes, they just happen systematically and they happen in a pattern, but they're all happening right now. They're all happening while we're sitting here having our meditation. And yeah, the moon has moved to 0 degrees Libra, so happy lunar return to me. And it's just another one of the sign changes, and it's just another one of these little ways where the planets in the universe is showing us that we can choose forward motion. Venus squaring Saturn is going to make you want to take some sort of forward motion. It's going to make you squirm just a little bit. Aspects already moved, so that it's the motivator. It's the motivator to move forward for something. And then you have the 2 planets going into forward motion, Jupiter and Mercury. And you have the sign changes. Mars into Capricorn, Venus into Sagittarius, the moon moving into Libra. Happens every couple days, but it's like literally it literally just happened like within the last couple hours. The moon, I don't believe, has even moved off of 0 degrees according to all of my tracking software that I have. So sitting right at the very beginning there. So I choose forward motion. Hopefully you all want to find forward motion too. I'm looking in the comments here. Sorry, I kind of did not see them quite at first. I forgot to hit the button there. So Happy New Year to all of you in the comments. Open but structured. Okay, so finding myself wanting a more planned out 2024. Open but structured with concrete achievable goals. Yes. So that's very much with this aspect that we have going on. Mars moving into Capricorn too is has that motivation move into it. Very, very much so. And there's a time to exhale, right? There's a time to yes, and then added the solar flares. So there's been some extreme solar flare activity coming off of the sun. I don't know the specifics of that, so I don't want to I don't know the rating systems and whatnot, but I know a lot of people really are affected by these solar flares, and I think more of us are than realize. When I see things about the solar flares happening, I see lots of people talking about having psychosomatic responses, so people having issues with their body of some kind, or their psyche and things like that. But lots of people that I hear having like stomach aches and having like GI upset, and lots of people having headaches and things like that, amongst probably other things during those times too. So lots going on, lots of good reason to choose forward motion, lots of good reason to move forward and keep our eye on the prize, right? Mars moving into Capricorn is allowing us to keep our eye on the prize. While Venus moving into Sagittarius keeps us in that youthful, like, forward-thinking Sagittarius that, like, I've heard Sagittarius referred to as the cheerleader sign. So it's like the, yeah, you can do it, the go-getter sign, but not necessarily all the action. Sometimes it's kind of front-loaded with motivation, where it's like, hey, yeah, we can go do that thing. Let's go do that thing. We should do that thing. It's like the friend that's like, we should meet up, and then we should call you. We should get a hold. Yeah, I'm going to call you. We're going to do this. We're going to hang out. And then, like, 2 years later, you run into them, and it's the exact same thing. So Mars moving from Sag into Capricorn, it gives us that more concrete, earthly, feminine domain of Saturn area to like bear down and do what needs to be done, to take the steps forward, while Venus in Sagittarius allows us to still dream big. So it's kind of the best of both worlds a little bit in that aspect. And then, you know, I decided I was going to go ahead and pull a card today. I haven't pulled a, I don't know, I have not regularly pulled tarot cards for this situation, for our meditation here. I've done it a few times. When I do it, when I feel called to do it, it seems like it works out well. When I do it just because I feel like that's what I should do, or like I want to start doing this every week, it doesn't seem like it flows all that well. But today I was sitting here getting ready for the meditation, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna pull a card. So I was shuffling my cards. Same deck that I always use here. My best friend bought this for me, so it's my It's my card deck. It's the Affirmators Tarot, super cute animated pictures. But I was shuffling so I picked up my cards. So you know what? It feels like a time to pull a card. So I was shuffling them. Often when I'm shuffling, the cards that I pull are cards that just pop out of the deck often. So I was shuffling, and what falls out of the deck? The Sun card. The Sun card is a card that I don't pull very often, but it feels very much supportive of this moving forward energy here. When I see the Sun, the Sun card, first of all, it's hard not to think astrologically, but it all coincides together. So the Sun, I think of success, I think of support, I think of the radiant energy of the universe, I think of divine intelligence, okay? I think of the Godhead of intelligence, the one that knows all. I think of all-encompassing information and intelligence and like the mind of God coming through to us in a way. This card to me pulled, amongst everything that I was thinking about here, feels like this card is saying to go forward in motion, and that you are loved, and that you are supported, and that you are going to, as long as you move forward in the most purely solar way that you can, out of pure divine intelligence and love, that you will go forward and you will be successful no matter what path you go down. In astrology, the Sun relates to the soul. It relates to our purpose. It relates to the Father. So it relates to the Creator that partially created us. That seed that initiated this body that is us here, right? So this card here, to me, represents the cosmic collective energy that is all around us. And since this meditation is about bringing this energy into us and bringing it forward, it's reminding me that we are all a collection of cosmic energy that spans all of space and time, goes backwards and forwards, infinite. The Sun is infinite intelligence, okay? Infinite energy. Your energy spans infinitely past lives here, right? I believe that this life is just a small part of your soul's journey. So all of that collective infinite intelligence, that is all part of the solar body, part of the Sun, that is all part of you, and it spans over space and time, because it spans back as far as time goes, which time's not real. Time's something that we create, right? And it goes forward into the future, into these, whatever the future lifetimes are that you hold here. So, I don't know, I'm gonna put it right here, guys. I don't pull the cards very often for this. I felt that I needed to today. It's even less that I pull the Sun card. Let's get the intention off there so you can see it. We're just going to keep it right in front of our card there. So the Sun card here, right at the beginning of the year, tells me that there is such potential to shine bright. And there's always potential to shine bright, guys, but this like moving forward energy here, all of these, so these planets that we have that are moving forward in direct motion, the like semi-serious but still sweet and balanced and harmonized aspect that we have at the beginning of the week, then a blank slate here. The planets moving from one sign to another is telling us that it's time to move forward, it's time to take the next step, it's time to go forward, it's time to do whatever that thing is that you need to do, wherever it is that you want to bring forward motion within your life, wherever you want to start forward motion, wherever you want to continue or resume forward motion. Maybe you got stuck somewhere. I know there's many areas in my life in 2023 where I feel like I kind of got stuck within a mud in certain ways. I was describing this to my husband. It feels like, although there's some really great things this past year and I've had some really great growth, there's certain areas where it felt like I was kind of like stuck in mud. And when you're stuck in mud or like quicksand or something, think about how you're like trying to pull your arm out, and then just as you get your arm free, oh, all of a sudden you realize that your other leg is now stuck in there and you have to try to pull that out. So as you're pulling your leg out, then your arm gets stuck back in. But the thing about being stuck within that mud or within quicksand is that you're focusing intently on whatever it is that is around you. You are staring whatever it is that is around you, whether it is what is keeping you stuck in that mud or what you are trying to go towards your goal. You are staring that intently in the eye, and you are so hyper focused on it that there's just this momentum and just this, I don't know, there's just something that builds within, some sort within this solar body here that just wants to propel you forward. At least that's where I'm at. So I know this feels like a real like cheerleading intention this week, but maybe even a little cliche for the new year, but I don't think so. I think it's just like spot on timing. I think 2024 is going to not in a prediction matter necessarily, but 2024 is going to bring some really great things for a lot of people. Every year brings a mixed bag of things, brings, you know, good things and hard things, and you gotta have both. But I think there's gonna be some serious breakthroughs for some people in 2024. And I'm here for it. So choosing forward motion to go forward with that, and creating forward motion wherever it is that you see fit, whether that's in a big way or a little way. You know, forward motion could be that you are going to do a complete overhaul of your diet of some kind, and you know, or you are going to start working out 7 days a week or something like that. But forward motion could also be that you are just going to change a small part of your diet. Maybe you're gonna choose a different kind of snack than what you normally would, something a little bit healthier, like one time. That's forward motion. You just have to keep on with it, right? Maybe you're gonna decide that instead of taking the elevator, you're gonna take a flight of stairs. It's forward motion. So is the person that's gonna work out 7 days a week. Wherever your motion is, that's where you're at. And meet yourself with this intention wherever you are at, okay? So with that being said, where would you like to initiate forward motion? Where would you like to resume forward motion? Where were you moving forward and then you were halted or stopped somewhere? Jupiter going retrograde is can be a big, not like a setback necessarily, but one of those things where it felt like we were being pushed with momentum, and then all of a sudden the momentum just kind of backs off. Like maybe if you're thinking about like learning how to ride like a two-wheel bike, okay? So like you're learning how to ride a two-wheel bike and your parent is behind you and they're holding onto the bike and they're pushing you and they're stabilizing you and you're going really, really well. All of a sudden they let go real quick and now you have to stabilize yourself. That type of thing a little bit, right? So where would you like to resume forward motion? Where would you like to continue forward motion? Where have you already been doing well? I don't want this all to just be something about us like trying to, you know, like, oh, I gotta do better here, I gotta do better there. Where are you doing well? Where are you where are you bringing forward that advancing forward motion, and you want to continue that? So that's what I want to bring into the meditation this week. All of that. And guys, I just love, I don't know, I just absolutely love this Sun card here. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Ah, I love it. Okay, so, yeah, forward motion. That's what we're going to bring into our meditation this week. I wanted to do a little breathing exercise with us as we start our meditation here. So I would like us to kind of walk through it first. When I very first started doing these live meditations, first of all, the intention did not come along right away. At first, there was just kind of like my personal intentions, things that I was setting for myself that I kind of started offering up after a couple weeks, and then as we got further into it, my intention was kind of coming from the astrology, but I wasn't like fully giving the whole astrology spiel, and then we just went full astro on the whole thing. But in the beginning, it was a little bit more centered around just being a meditation practice and a place of and this is still part of my goal, is learning a meditation practice and, you know, the repetitiveness of coming back to your breath and focusing on it. But there was more of like introducing of different techniques, more like terminology being used, of more just things specific to meditation practices itself. Not quite sure that I'm going to necessarily fully go back to that, but it felt like within the new year here, I wanted to bring in some sort of breathing technique, because we do a lot of focusing on our breath here. We do a lot of breathing in, breathing out. We do a lot of visualization. We think, we do a lot of observing what physically happens to our body during the breathing in and out process, right? But there's so many more techniques. There's so many more techniques that I have found to be so successful. They're nothing that's like hidden secrets or anything. They're definitely out on the internet and you can research them. That's how I have found all of them. But I thought we would bring in one of the breathing techniques that is commonly known as alternate nostril breathing, or now I'm not good at my Sanskrit is not, probably mispronouncing things. I just feel like I need to put that disclaimer. But alternate nostril breathing, which is also known as Nadi Sodhana. So you may have heard it called alternate nostril breathing. It's not hard, but it takes a little coordination and getting used to. What this does is it has us alternate breathing in and out through our left and right nostril, one at a time. So if you are like ultra congested from some sort of cold or something, this might not work, so just skip by it. Try it another time. Please come back to it, because this breathing exercise of switching the nostrils and coordinating your brain with the breath here, this is one of the most cleansing practices for the energetic channels within your body that I have come across and that I have used. Doing this in the morning or anytime that you feel fatigued will bring a rejuvenating energy into you. It's very revitalizing and it's very energizing. So if you're trying to go to bed right after this, also might want to kind of think about that too. So we're just going to practice it a couple times before we start our meditation, and then once we light the intentional candle and we get into the meditation, we will do a few rounds of the alternate nostril breathing together here. So we're just going to practice our Nadi Sodhana together here just a little bit, okay? So what I'm going to have you do is first thing you're going to do is you're going to exhale your breath completely to start, okay? So I want you to exhale your breath here. Just resting gently as you breathe out. And then you're going to breathe in through your nose fully through both nostrils. And then you're going to bring 2 fingers up to your nose, 1 finger on each side of your nostril. So take your pointer finger and put it inside of your right nostril, and take your middle finger and put it on the side of your left nostril here, okay? So you might have to do your breathing again. So you're going to breathe out, and you're going to breathe in. Once you breathe in, I want you to take your pointer finger here, and I want you to close your right nostril. And I want you to breathe out through your left nostril, okay? Now you're going to breathe back in through just your left nostril. Now you are going to switch your fingers. You are now going to take your middle finger and you're going to plug your left nostril, and you're going to release your right nostril, and you're going to breathe out through your right nostril. Breathe back in through the right. Close the right nostril, open the left. Breathe out through the left nostril. Breathing in through the left side. Closing the left nostril, opening the right. Breathing out through the right nostril. Let's do it one more time together. Breathing in through the right. Closing the right nostril, opening the left, breathing out through the left. So we will exhale through one side, breathe back in through that same side. The switch comes at the top. The switch comes after the breath in. So once you take the breath in and this energy and this air has come up through your left nose, your left side, you're going to switch over to the right side. And when you switch, when we do this in a little while in the meditation, you're going to feel the energy moving, okay? You're going to feel that air coming up in to your body the way it normally does, but then you're going to feel it transfer. And instead of it coming in and going right back out, it gets up here. It gets your brain, okay? It fully envelops your whole body. And I don't know, I personally think that there has to be so many little energy portals and little energy channels within our body. We talk about the 7 chakras and the main energy points, but there's so much more than that. There's so many more. So we're gonna do that in the beginning of our meditation here, okay? Let's see, I don't know how many rounds we're gonna do. We're just gonna do it for a little while. So we'll just take the guidance. Is that cool? If at any time it's not working for you, if at any time we need to be responsible for ourselves here within these breathing exercises and within these home meditations, okay? So take responsibility for your own health here, and if at any time you feel any sort of discomfort, if you have any pre-existing health conditions of any kind, then stop and just resume normal breathing at any time that you need to. Also, if you are congested at any time right now, like if you have a cold or anything like that, it might not be the most fun. Maybe you want to go find your neti pot first or something and clear that out. I don't know. But feel free to skip it. Feel free to do it if you want to, okay? So I like the breath work, and I don't know, maybe we'll bring more of this into the new year. So let's go ahead and get started with our meditation here. We're gonna leave this card here. It's far enough away from the flame. You can see the top of our candle here. You know it's a white candle. It's always white, a color of purity, a color of amplification, a color that you can change into any color you want it to be, right? So I choose forward motion. Let's light our intentional candle and let's feed into that intention, right? Let's start and continue our forward motion. So, flame to the candle. Give it a minute to light. These wonderful, wonderful candles that I just absolutely love. So, we see the intentional candle light, we see the flame grow, and as the flame grows, so does our intention. I choose forward motion. I choose forward motion. 2024, here we go. So, I'd like you to start by settling in with your breath as always. Start by taking a moment just to check in and see where you're at this moment. See what the energy level that you came here with, the energy level that you've cultivated so far within this meditation, within these last 30-40 minutes that we've been here discussing everything going on and we've been talking about moving forward. The energy that you're cultivating as we start initiating a breathwork practice and clearing out our energy, circulating energy through our body. Where is your energy level at this moment? And further yet, the energy that you have right now, the energy in this very, very moment, is it the same kind of energy level that you came to this meditation with? Has there been any fluctuations since we've started our talk? Whether it's for better or for worse, that's okay. You be honest with yourself here in this very moment. anything, I want you to be honest and truthful with yourself. I choose forward motion. I choose forward motion. If you haven't already closed your eyes, feel free to do so. But if you're not quite ready to fully close your eyes, if you don't quite feel comfortable, try to soften your gaze and relax your eyes a little bit if possible. Slowly and gently, your eyes start to relax and soften, your gaze focusing less intently than it was before. Now, we come into our alternate nostril breathing. Nadi Sadhyana, clearing the energetic channels within our body, a reset of certain kinds, a fresh start in a forward motion of air, oxygen, and vital energy. So go ahead and we'll meet together on the exhale, releasing all of the breath from your body. Nice big full deep breath in together. And at the top of the inhale, bringing your pointer and your middle finger on either side of your nostril. You close your right nostril and you breathe out through the left. Bottom of the exhale, you breathe back in through your left nostril. Closing the left side, opening the right, breathe out through your right nostril. Inhale through the right. Switch fingers, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Switch fingers, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Switch fingers, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Switch fingers, exhale through the right. Inhale again through the right side and continue this cycle on your own, at your own speed. Exhaling and inhaling through one nostril before switching at the top of the inhale to the other side. As you continue this cycle of breathing in through one nostril, breathing out through the other, inhaling back through that same side before switching at the top again. As you continue through this process and this practice, start to observe what is happening within your body during your practice. Notice how the energy circulates through your entire being, but most specifically, notice how that energy circulates up towards your third eye before you release it again. When you breathe in and that air first enters your body, feel how that wonderful, loving oxygen in that air hugs your heart and your chest as it comes in within your body and within your being. Notice where it energizes you, perhaps even where it fatigues you. All is valid. Notice how when you release the breath from your nostril, notice the release that you feel. Observing the changes within our body during the practice, right in the middle of the practice. After you complete your next round of breath, I invite you to sit still within your own being. Perhaps you sit cross-legged, and perhaps you bring your hands down to your knees, palms facing upward or downward, whatever feels most comfortable at first thought. If your hands are facing upward, perhaps you have energy to give, energy to send outward. If your hands are face down on your knees, perhaps there is some sort of energy that you are ready and needing to receive. Both are okay and both are completely acceptable. As you sit in this pose of ease, notice the clearness within your mind after the breathing exercise. Notice how your heart may have calmed and your breathing may have steadied. Notice how strong you feel. Notice the clarity that surrounds you. Notice the general, overall energy increase that you are experiencing. I choose forward motion. Two, 0, 2, 4. Add those numbers together and you get an 8. 8. Sign of infinity. The number that reminds us that there are ups and downs, round and around, cycles. Everything is part of a greater cycle. Each individual inhale and each individual exhale of yours is a part of an individual cycle. Now that we've energized ourselves, we are ready to move forward into the new year with forward motion, just as Jupiter has stationed to move direct, just as Mercury has stationed and now moving direct, just as Venus has changed signs, just as Mars is moving into the sign of Capricorn. We move forward with forward motion, forward momentum. Perhaps you can even feel it pulling you forward in your seat. With all of this forward energy that we have in this creative motion pulling us and propelling us forward, let's take a little walk, shall we? Let's take a little walk down the road of 2024. Your own individual road that you're walking. Perhaps you are walking by yourself, perhaps there's others with you. But I want you to visually see yourself walking down the path that you are going to lead in 2024. Instead of a year in review, let's look at the year in preview. And as you walk down the path, you see all of the triumphs that are coming to you over the next year. You see the difficult things too. Perhaps a little struggle, but the triumphs keep coming. And the motions and the patterns that you are willing to create to keep that forward motion, keep that momentum going. Mars moving into Capricorn. Where are you willing to put in the work? Where are you willing to shed perhaps blood, sweat, and tears in order to make it happen? What are you willing to sacrifice? For that forward motion. And on the opposite hand, what are you not willing to sacrifice anymore? Perhaps something that you have pushed aside or sacrificed or left behind in the past. Where do you want to bring forward motion? 2024, the abundances that I see in front of me are beautiful, clear, and mine for the taking. Just as the sun that shines brightly in the sky never fades and continues on its path day after day, you too are unwavering in your power, continuing on your path one step at a time, day after day, moving forward. I choose forward motion for 2024 and beyond. I accept nothing less than my highest good and my highest power. I am created from divine love and intelligence, the sun and the moon. Therefore, I radiate divine love and intelligence. I radiate lunar and solar energy, balancing the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang, the positive and the negative, the introvert and the extrovert. Marry together the loud and the quiet, the happy and the sad, all encompassing all of this energy within my heart space center, just as it is in yours. And as we walk into 2024 together, meeting here once a week to remind ourselves of our power, our solar power. Think of the Sun card. The card within the tarot deck that radiates divine love and divine energy into every corner of our solar system. No matter how bright or how dim, it's still there. And I thank you for sharing this journey with not only myself, but also with everybody else that joins in our meditation, everyone else that is looking to put out the highest energy possible, those in search of the highest good and our highest journey, staying on our own path and walking in our own lane while still moving forward together, arm in arm. We are all walking each other home. That is one of my favorite quotes. We are all just walking each other home. I believe it's a Ram Dass quote. So thank you Thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you for walking into 2024 with me, and thank you for the walk through 2023 also. I am now contemplating if I need to get a tapestry of the sun for this year for us to keep in mind, because I don't know, it just feels like starting with the sun card. When I say that I hardly ever pull the sun card, I mean that I literally hardly ever frickin' pull the sun card, and it just popped right out at us today. Isn't she so beautiful? Look at her. Look how beautiful. I love these cards. I think they're beautiful. So yeah, anytime that you are doubting your power, anytime that you are having trouble moving forward, think about the sun. We all have, the sun is overhead over all of us, right? We all have the sun within our chart somewhere. We all have purpose. We all have that divine intelligence. Some people say that they don't relate to their sun sign. Yes, you are so much more than the sun. You are so much more than your sun sign. But this is a place to start with themes and purpose and divine placement. It really is. So, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I hope you all enjoyed the breathing exercise. Let me know whether you do or not, because we can totally bring more of that into this, or bring it back into this. Like I said, there was a lot more of that, different breathing exercises, and not necessarily, not things that are super, super complicated, right? Just, it's the coordination. It's bringing your mind and your body together, which ultimately is the goal here, and is what we are what we are working for. When I say, okay, yes, that was awesome, set the energy well. All right, cool. Kate, thank you, Katie. Yeah, I don't know, that is one of my all-time favorite breathing exercises. Anytime that I'm feeling a little bit fatigued in the middle of the day, you can do it. You can do it anywhere. You can be at work and you can go step into the bathroom. You can turn your head away from somebody, and unless they're wondering why your hands are out by your nose, if you're picking your nose or something, oh well, what does it matter? What did they think? I guess, I don't know. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the meditation. I'm so looking forward to 2024. I'm looking forward to all of our meditations here, and I'm looking forward to so much more that is going to come. I was talking about that mud and that stuckness, and I think I'm pulling myself out of it. I think so. Here we go. Yeah, so take a look for the intention next week on Sunday. I always release it early so that way you can sit with it yourself for a little while. Meditativeastrology.com, the Facebook page, the Instagram page, the YouTube community channel. Yeah. So, okay. Katie, looking in the comments here, says my daughter walked in and laughed, but that was intrigued. Maybe she was intrigued enough to try it with you. Tell her to try it in the bathroom if she doesn't want to let anybody see. It's so great. It really, really is. And it's energizing, and it's yeah, it's energizing. It brings clarity, and it brings, like, it washes away fatigue and brings so much energy in. And yeah, I'd like to hear anything else that you all experience from it. So message me at any time. Okay? I will see you next Tuesday as we move into the second week of January. Yeah, so I'll see you again Tuesday. Like I've said before, reach out at any time. And the sun, do not forget about the sun card. And when you look up outside at the sky and you see the sun, whether it's overcast or you can actually see it, I hope you can see the sun at some point tomorrow or today, depending on your day. Because yeah, just try to feel that radiant support that is out there sometime in the next couple days that you can. And then as you look up at that sun, say to yourself, or out loud if you can, I choose forward motion. And just feel the support and just feel the love. Okay? All right, reach out at any time. Have a great night. Have a great week. have a great year, even though I will see you and talk to you many, many times this year. So, okay. Mwah. Have a great one. Bye now.